everyone, it's Christine, and today I'm gonna do a little bit of a vlog video. Today is actually my first of 10 days off for vacation from work, so I'm super excited about that. However, I don't leave for vacation for another 2 days. So what does somebody with a chronic illness tend to do on a day off? Well, you spend the whole day with appointments and a bunch of medical stuff. It's just how it is. So this morning I went to the dentist. Thankfully everything was good there. I just got my blood drawn, which I'm happy I remembered to do because I almost forgot about it. And my immunologist appointment is actually the day after I come home from vacation, so I had to get this blood work done now. I have to do my infusion today. I actually have to do 2 infusions today because I never got a chance to do last week's. I was so super busy. And I have to do this week's because I'm going to be on vacation. I was hoping I would have time to do the infusion after my blood work, but I ended up waiting so long at the dentist. I spent over an hour there. Anyways, I'm not gonna have time to do my infusion this morning. I'm gonna have to do it after my other appointment, which is for a breast ultrasound. So I wanna talk a little bit about that and kind of have the focus of this video really be about my story of finding a lump in my breast earlier this year. Basically, earlier this year in January, I was kind of feeling around. I happened to find a lump that was very defined. It wasn't kind of the general lumpy bumpies that you sometimes feel up there. And my initial reaction was, well, I'm just gonna ignore it, whatever, it's probably nothing. After like 2 months, the lump pretty much stayed unchanged, and I was like, Christine, don't be an idiot, because you do know that breast cancer can happen to people in their 20s. So I made my appointment with the OBGYN. She felt it. She thought what I thought, that it was a cyst, but she ordered an ultrasound just to check. I thought, thank goodness, everything's gonna be great and fine. I go to get this ultrasound done, and I was expecting them to tell me, like, it's a cyst, don't worry about it, you don't have to come back to get this checked out, all is good and well. Well, after I had the ultrasound and I was waiting for the radiologist to come give me the report, which my hospital doesn't make you wait for the report for the breast studies. The radiologist comes and tells you right away. From what I saw on other people's experiences, it seems like there are other hospitals that do this as well. Not saying it happens everywhere, but it does seem to kind of be a common trend. I had the ultrasound, the radiologist comes in and she's like, I want to feel what you're feeling. And I'm like, what? And she tells me, we can definitely see what this is on the ultrasound, but we don't know what it is. It's definitely not a cyst. I'd like to do a diagnostic mammogram and a biopsy. And as she's telling me this, it's kind of literally like that moment of where you're sitting there and the doctor's talking to you, but you're stuck in like this time zone of like the world's happening, but you're not happening. Like, I don't know how to describe it. It's just like she was talking to me and I wasn't there. I was really in like a complete disbelief and taken by surprise. She asked if I wanted to stay and do the mammogram that day, and my response was like, of course, I want to get this done. I want to get whatever is needed to see what is going on with this lump. But they tried calling my doctor's office and they had already closed for the day, so they couldn't get the prescription for the mammogram and I had to wait. So I booked the appointment for the mammogram and for the biopsy. It was like a 10-day period, and it was kind of a really long 10 days. What I know now is even with biopsies, it's like of the breast biopsies they do, only like 10 to 20% come back malignant. Most of them are benign. So there is that good positive thing to look forward to. However, I already have a rare illness, so statistics aren't the most comforting thing to me in the world. And yes, I was nervous. Was I petrified and absolutely like, oh my God, they're gonna tell me I have breast cancer? No, I wasn't. But there was that sense of fear going on, like, crap, people in their 20s can get breast cancer. Me having an immune deficiency, I'm already at an increased risk of getting every single type of cancer out there. So yes, I did have some fear going into this biopsy. So I go in the day of the scheduled biopsy. I get the mammogram done, which really wasn't that bad. There were people that told me that they're painful, and I'm sorry, I didn't really think it was that painful. And so then I'm on the table, I am prepped and ready for the biopsy, mentally ready, whatever they're gonna tell me. And as they're doing the ultrasound, it was gonna be the ultrasound guided core biopsy. They go to do their pre-procedure huddle, and the radiologist comes back in and she's like, I don't think you need the biopsy. I think the lump is just fat. And so it was literally like my body was laying on this table and I was looking out from the wall. I mean, I have my name, my MRN, the procedure on the whiteboard, and they're telling me it's not happening now. So I was thrilled, but I was also kind of still shocked. Like, what is happening? And I'm like, so what did the radiologist see in the last ultrasound? And the doctor basically just told me, depending on where you are in your monthly cycle, the images can show differently on the ultrasound. So that biopsy got canceled, and they told me, come back in 6 months to do a follow-up ultrasound, and depending on that ultrasound, you might then be good to go, everything's great, or you might have to get an MRI because I'm younger and I guess MRIs get better images. I don't know. Anyways, I have that in 2 hours, so I'm not gonna have enough time to infuse this morning, but I do have good vibes going into this ultrasound. I have no idea what they're gonna tell me because every time I go here, what they tell me is kind of different than what I expected, so I really don't have expectations going into this ultrasound, but I do have good vibes. Hospital, and I got great news. They told me that there was no change in the lump and that it does just look like breast tissue, so there's no follow-up needed unless I feel something different. Then I can follow up with my doctor. Otherwise, I don't have to go back until I am 40 for this screening mammogram. So I'm super excited. It's almost 3 o'clock now. I ended up spending just about 2 hours at the hospital, so it wasn't that long of a wait. A little longer than I would have liked, but I can't complain because I'm super happy with the news I got. And now I get to go home and infuse. All right, here I am infusing, finally. I'm getting this done. I did hear for the first time a few months ago at one of the patient meetings I went to, someone said that they were advised not to infuse for 48 hours before going on a plane. Now, my trip to Toronto is less than 48 hours away, but not that much less than 48 hours, so I think I'll be okay. I have infused in the past the day before traveling. Actually, I think the day before I went to Europe, so it was a really long flight. I had never heard that, but hey, maybe it is true. I can get the theory behind it because immune globulin does increase your risk of having a blood clot, and obviously being on a long flight also increases your risk. But I'll make sure that I'll do my ankle pumps while I'm on the plane. And in case you're wondering where I am getting this from about the increased risk of the blood clots with immune globulin, I will show you right here on the package insert. We have our lovely little boxed warning about thrombosis, renal dysfunction, and acute renal failure. So yes, immune globulin can increase your risk of having a clot. It can increase your risk of having renal failure, but I know with me, with having an immune deficiency, I don't have that much of a choice. I need this medicine to stay alive and well. Alrighty, I am planning on relaxing for a little bit while I finish my infusion, and once I am done with my infusion and I am just done with all of this medical stuff I had to get over with today, I am finally going to begin packing and looking at final preparations for my trip. Now it is more of the fun stuff and less of the headachy stuff, so I'm really looking forward to it. But first, just some peace and quiet while my infusion runs. By the way, dogs make the best infusion buddies. This is Roscoe joining me on my infusion, keeping me comfortable, keeping me happy.